Do you remember the devastating LA wildfires from a few months ago when Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrat politicians promised us they would do a better job protecting us? Well, we gave them 3 chances to improve wildland fire preparedness, and Newsom and Democrats blocked all 3 proposals. Coming up, we'll tell you what we tried to get done, why those things are definitely needed to protect your home and your family, and how now Newsom and Democrats are prepared to blame any catastrophic fire in the future on Donald Trump. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative. Months ago, we were shocked by the severity of the LA wildfires, thousands of homes destroyed. And while that whole tragedy unfolded, we were able to pinpoint and uncover and shine a light on absolute negligence, gross negligence, and mismanagement by California Governor Gavin Newsom, Democrat politicians, local leaders like Mayor Karen Bass. Absolute negligence. It didn't have to happen that way. The severity of this disaster could have been prevented. People have largely moved on, except for the victims of the fire. They're still unable to rebuild. If you see the whole permitting process, not a whole lot of permits are being issued. Only 7 permits have been issued since January. And all of those are not for homes, they're for garages. It's just insane. But what can we be doing to prepare for wildland fire? And this is something that should have been addressed 25 years ago. But in California, we have been grossly negligent. Our leaders have been grossly negligent. Other states have done a good job. The federal government has done a much better job with wildland fire management in the last 25 years, but not California, because we are still gripped by an insane philosophy that has led to the fire challenges that we've seen out west for the past 20, 25 years. I'm going to get into those things in just a moment. And I'm going to cover 3 common sense proposals that California Republicans in the state legislature offered Gavin Newsom and the Democrats, and they killed the simple 3 wildland fire preparedness proposals that we offered. It's insane, and I'll share the list of the 3 in just a moment. But at Reform California, we're fighting to change the disaster. I could cover the wildland fire issue. I could cover high taxes. I could cover failing schools and crime and grime and homelessness. But if I just covered the issues, all I'm doing is giving you a greater reason to get the hell out of this state. I know a lot of you don't want to flee. I want you to stay and fight. But the only way for us to fight is if we have a plan and we have a vehicle. And that plan and vehicle is being provided by Reform California. So before I get into the wildland fire issue, please go to the website. If you haven't done so already, join the fight. Be part of the plan. reformcalifornia.org. At the bottom of that website, you can sign up with your first name, your last name, your email, your phone, and your zip code, and you'll be tethered into our growing movement to take back the state from insanity. What do you receive when you sign up? Once a week, you get an update on all the news stories that we are covering in the state. We bring you the truth. The liberal media won't cover the failure or the corruption of California politicians. We do. Second, you'll get our voter guide in the primary and general election next year, with endorsements for judge, school board, city council, all the way up to the state house and the U.S. Congress. Again, a lot of voters are confused. Like, who do I vote for judge or school board? I can't get any information on these people. That's where we come in. We do a lot of research. We actually recruit, train, endorse candidates. And we also give you a plain English description of the ballot measures. And we tell you where the hidden tax increases are in each measure. So sign up at the bottom of that website. Also, please consider chipping in a contribution so that you can put fuel in the tank of the work that we're trying to do. Okay, so that's the advertisement. Now let's get back to the content. Wildland fire. We know why we have fires in California. It's not climate change. Stop it. That's what the liberal media says. That's what the Democrat politicians say. They want to say climate change because first, they're trying to prop up that narrative. But second, they're trying to shift the blame for bad policies that they are responsible for that have led to higher fire severity and lack of preparedness. There are 3 reasons why we have fires in California. Number 1, we don't manage our lands properly. I mean, that's the biggest reason, not climate change. The weather is what the weather is. Climate has not been shown. There's no data to show that climate has changed to such a degree that suddenly there is more fire risk. And in a moment, I'm going to refute some misinformation that's been put out there by liberal media. But no, climate data does not support the notion that we have more fires, because when you track the number of fires has not gone up. The severity has, and severity has to deal with this first issue. We have a certain number of fires that occur through human activity, through nature, but the severity of that fire, how quickly can we get there and put it out, is all driven by, did you create a risky area? Did you let things get overgrown? Or did you thin the forest? Did you maintain the shrubs? Did you have fire breaks? Did you do controlled burns? We have not maintained our lands. That is the number 1 reason why we have a fire risk in the state of California. We have not properly maintained the shrubs, the brush, the risk. We have to reduce risk of fires in our communities. Second, preparedness and response. We have not adequately staffed our fire departments. We have very expensive labor costs in fire departments. We do not allow for many volunteer fire units, even though in other states, volunteer fire units are more prevalent than professional salaried fire units. Why? Because the government unions want salaried and pensioned dues-paying members. And so we could do far better at preparing and rapid response for fire. And so that has not been done adequately in the state of California. And third, we have not done a good enough job cutting the red tape so that private property owners can defend their property. When a private property owner says, I think I should clear 100 feet of defensible space, the local environmentalists show up and say, no, you can't touch that. There's a spotted owl. There's a bird. There's fairy shrimp. They come up with every damn excuse why you shouldn't be allowed to clear defensive space. These are the 3 issues: failure to maintain and trim brush, lack of preparedness in terms of fire resources, and of course, not allowing private property owners to do fire hardening and risk management. Those 3 issues have to be addressed, and they're the failure of government, not climate change. But the Democrat politicians refuse to address those issues. And in a moment, I'm going to give you the 3 common sense solutions that we offered at the state level, California Republicans, that Democrats killed, that Newsom blocked. But they're already starting to set the stage for the narrative. And so the first narrative is it's all Trump's fault. Here's the LA Slimes. LA Slimes carrying the water of Gavin Newsom and Democrats, narrative driving. We're going to enter the fire season. So let's make sure people are already preconditioned to blame Donald Trump, not Gavin Newsom, not the Democrat politicians, but it's all Trump's fault for the fire. California's 2025 wildfire season was already going to be dangerous. Trump has made it worse. Orange man bad. Hey, LA Times, pick a finger. Why don't you do a story on the fact that we don't allow for controlled burns without it going through the California Air Resources Board, or not allowing people to trim shrubs without the California Environmental Quality Act being complied with? Those are the issues. Provable. Talk to any property owner, any local manager, any fire chief. They will tell you it's the regulations preventing this from happening. We also know homeless camps in all these canyons with little fire pits and barbecues. That's what's causing a lot of these fires, a failure of government. But no, it's all Trump's fault. Orange man bad. My hair is thinning. Orange man bad caused it. Here's Governor Gavin Newsom narrative driving. Here's how Trump's illegal military deployment weakens firefighting resources, already strained by his dangerous U.S. Forest Service cuts. Do you see the collusion here between these 2 headlines? Liberal media and the spokesholes of Gavin Newsom. And of course, you've got this. Here is Axios. Axios San Diego, Andrew Keats, liberal, snarky liberal. More weather fueling wildfires. I just told you that it's not weather. It's actually the conditions on the ground, which is the mismanagement of your land that you hold. And remember, who holds the most land? Federal, state, local government. Like 95% of the land holdings in the state of California. And that's where the fires are starting. If you want to know where are the fires starting? They're starting on government-owned properties. Land management, not weather. But here we have the liberal media narrative driving a false narrative. They basically cite an analysis that weather is to blame from a group called Climate Central. Oh, you don't think they have an agenda, do you? Oh, no, they're absolutely neutral, right? These are climate grant seekers. These are advocates. These are partisans. These are far left ideologues. If they believe it, they see it, not the other way around. And so Climate Central has phony research out saying that the number of days where a fire weather watch has been issued has increased between 1973 and 2024. In San Diego, it was an increase of 2 days on average per year. So does that mean the weather got worse? No, it doesn't. You know what it does mean? It means that the National Weather Service has revised its methodology for when it issues fire alerts. You mean they changed the criteria, and as a result of changing criteria and nothing really changing in the environment, it meant that they issued more warnings? Oh no, that couldn't possibly be happening. Again, you people are idiots, Axios. And you knowingly report false news. And if you want to see the changed standards, here you are. Here is the updated April 15th, 2024. And they've updated these standards like every couple years. Fire Weather Service product specification. Digital forecasts, fire watch and red flag warning. Mission connection, issuance guidance, creation software, issuance criteria, fire weather watch, red flag warning, issuance time, valid time, product expiration time. All of these forecasts, warnings, have guidelines and criteria issued by the government agency overseeing staff offices that then implement those criteria. And yes, and this is a good thing, we've gotten better, more aggressive with issuing warnings. It doesn't mean the weather has changed. It just means that we are being more accurate with our warnings. That's all that's changed. Again, I wish that we would actually have an honest conversation about things here. Because if you believe that it's Trump's fault, you're going to blame Donald Trump, not Newsom and the Democrats. If you believe it's climate, you'll say, oh, government can't do anything about it. It's my fault. I'm driving a car that's powered by gas. It's my fault. I'm to blame, not Gavin Newsom. He's my hero. He's warning me about my bad behavior. Do you understand how this is all broken down? Again, don't buy the false narrative. Search for the truth. Ask for the receipts. If suddenly there's a warning issued in a more common or more prevalent manner, okay, was it because the environment changed, or was it because we got better and more specific and more stringent about how we issue our warnings? And it's so simple to figure out. Here are the things that Reform California and California Republicans did this legislative session since the LA wildfires. We aggressively went after reducing wildland fire risk, and we offered 3 common sense proposals. Number 1, we said because these fires are occurring on state and local land, canyons with homeless camps, state land, we don't have jurisdiction over the feds, but at least for state and local, well, let's require that they do a risk assessment of the shrubs and the brush, and that they be mandated to clear priority parcels of acres of land step by step. and that they post that plan on the internet so that we all can see how bad things are and measure progress towards reducing risk. Pretty simple, right? Strategic planning and transparency on condition of acreage for wildland fire risk. Very simple. Democrats killed the bill. Democrats said, oh, this is going to be too difficult to do. And my response was, what's more difficult? Clearing land and being honest about where the land risk is versus having to deal with a catastrophic wildfire. So the first thing, and they don't want this to be known. They don't want you to know that state and local government have failed at their basic duty to maintain their land. They're the bad neighbor that's violating code, okay? They're the ones basically with the overgrown shrubs that you go down the neighbor, you say, could you trim your lot? It really looks unsightly. It's also unsafe. And they're like, nah, no, pick a figure. So first and foremost, they killed the bill requiring state and local government to do assessments, post the assessments online, and do a strategic approach to mitigating risk. Second, we said, okay, if you're not going to require them to do it, at least put more money on the table to actually do it. So we said, instead of just giving $200 million for brush clearing per year, let's do $1 billion of brush clearing. So we offered a budget amendment increasing the amount of money spent on wildland fire risk reduction to $1 billion a year. Democrats killed it. Third, we said, okay, fine. If you're not going to do your job, government, then at least cut the red tape of those that want to do their job. Now, remind you, this requires no government money. This would be private individuals or local governments wanting to do the right thing, do a controlled burn, do 100 feet of defensive space. And so our proposal was cut the red tape. If someone wants to do a controlled burn, they shouldn't have to go get a California Air Resources Board regulatory permit for that. Because a wildland fire that's catastrophic emits far more CO2 than a controlled burn. It's good for the environment to do controlled burns. The Democrats killed the bill. All three of those bills, common sense. This is not a partisan issue. This is a safety issue. And California Democrats and Gavin Newsom killed these three proposals. Oh, but they want to blame it on Donald Trump, orange man bad. And the liberal media will let them get away with it. And I'm just telling you, we're going to have another catastrophic fire. Not if, but when. Not maybe, but where. And when that happens, they'll say, well, we told you it was orange man bad. Because they don't want the blame. Look, at Reform California, we're bringing you the truth. We're doing the hard work and analysis. And yes, we are offering these sorts of proposals and forcing a vote. By the way, we have a recorded vote on each of those three items. And we plan to use those recorded votes to weaponize it against Democrat politicians in the upcoming election. But we can't do any of this work without your help. So go to the website, reformcalifornia.org. Share the news that you find up there and sign up at the bottom. Chip in a contribution if you can. 84% of you are not subscribed to this podcast. You can help us spread the word by subscribing. Just click the subscription button right now. Click notifications. So every day at 5 o'clock, you'll be reminded a new episode is being posted. Every day at 5 o'clock, we have a new show on a different topic, bringing you the truth about California news and politics without liberal bias. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.